Welcome to another video of virtual warfare. Hello, my name is Karen 4.0, and I will be taking this time to provide the understanding of the roleplay fighting on AirG through the perception of virtual warfare, a text-based roleplay fighting tutorial series. Different styles. In the old days, there was a structure way of roleplay fighting, e.g., only a certain level of power, speed and strength was able to be used. Also, one character couldn't do all things. Example, having a character that can control fire, ice, shadow, sand, etc. The expectation of characters was derived from the aspect of the standards of Dungeons and Dragons. This meant that the power of a character reflected their identity, vice versa. Hence, Ice Mage, Fire Dragon, Earth Golem, etc. This provides a gameplay that is based on strategy through the disposition of elements, magic, fighting with powers, etc., in order to outsmart the opponent. Just as it is in any known card-playing game, e.g., Pokémon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic, or WoW, roleplay fighting on AirG in the old days was based on the same concept. This way, fair and equal play is issued and all kills are based on strategy and not power. Through this custom, many roleplay battles were decided by votes, not by the strategy thereof. Henceforth, in essence, anyone who had the most friends, those with the most support, would seem to be the ones to always come out on top. And since powers and abilities were based on theoretical concepts, there was no true system to use logic as a means to officially validate a winner. Therefore, many votes were committed through a biased opinion. Today, for some fighters and communities, using logic as a basis for roleplay fighting is a standard custom, with common rules and mutual principles to help regulate the system. Such way of fighting is the basis of virtual warfare's system, which is an innovation of the prior system of AirG, which was based on a D&D concept. Implementing the essence of time and energy into the system is the basis to complete the logic used for the gameplay. For a more depth of virtual warfare's history on AirG, click the link in the description below. Turns versus action for action. In the old days, roleplay fighting was based on turns, and they still are. But over time, in today's day and age, another way of playing has been innovated, which is based on an action-for-action gameplay. To shorten the length of the video, the link to a video about this concept, along with a few others, will be in the description below. PM kills. In the old days, PM kills were valid, because the writer was able to forward the fight to a judge or elder in those times to validate the kill. But fighters didn't reveal every PM and elders were becoming corrupt, making PM kills something not to trust. Therefore, PM kill has become invalid even till this day. Sparring in PM is okay, but to proclaim a death within it is illegal. Kills in comments. Till this day, kills in any comments section does not count as an official kill. This is because the writer and the opponent has the ability to delete his or her post and corrupt the gameplay. Even though, one can make rules to avoid such conflict, saying, if either party doesn't write 3 posts each turn, they are disqualified, corruption can still happen. Thus, it is prohibited altogether. Assassination kills. Plotting to kill someone and doing it without them noticing is a tricky task, but anyone can do it. There are many people, however, who carry out this skill illegally. Therefore, every attempt of doing so, even if done correctly, is seen to be unfair and cheating. On the contrary, God mode and auto on those who try to escape. When implementing the art of assassination, one must be aware of one thing. Fairness. Without fairness, everything done will seem like a cheat. Assassins don't just kill random people, they have designated targets. That means, the virtual assassin, the character being used to assassinate, must abide by the same principle. Thus, they must state the target, or a prominent detail of the target during the preparation of their assassination in the group chat. Example, hiding behind the bushes, I see John walking around. Or, seeing the person with large horns and wings, I hide myself. This gives evidence of the writer role-playing his or her design to assassinate, making it valid in virtual form. However, to ensure that no excuses can be made, the writer must state their target or a prominent description thereof at least 3 times, before they are able to commence with the assassination. On the contrary, the opponent, the target, has to state that their character noticed the assassin plotting at least 2 times, in order to successfully devise an escape or counteraction. Example. Target. Seeing someone looking at me, I get on guard. Second time around, I see the same person plotting and I plan to retreat. This allows both players, the writer and the opponent, to issue a fair amount of detail on acknowledging each other, in order to make the scenario of the assassination official to count it as a kill or escape for roleplay fighting. Using comments for extra writing space. In the old days, there was no comment section. There wasn't even the ability to add pictures, just 8-bit emoji-type avatars. But over time, AirG changed and the feature was added. And because there was no true structure to officially utilize the comment section for roleplay fighting, people followed their own way of handling things and more division of the community was applied. When using the space provided within the comment section, one is compelled to add extra things that is not originally mentioned in their profile. This potentially made fighters seem God mode, as they would take advantage of the space in the comments section, and inquire a character to have many weapons and abilities and items, etc. This also creates confusion, as the other party would have to search pictures and comments to find something that is not originally stated. The comments section is made to do just this. Have a section to comment on something that's already there. The legitimate way to use the comments section for a character's profile is to state the original content inside the profile in order to further comment on it. Example. In my profile, I say I have a sword. Then in the comments section of the profile, I explain the sword's measurement and abilities, etc. By building a character in this form, writers not only fulfill the way of the old days, but respectably adapt to the modernized version of roleplay fighting today, and provide an organized way to know and navigate through the content of a person's character. Linked profiles. Not everyone wants to roleplay as a fighter all day long, and not everyone wants to walk around bare as if they have no fighting experience, and some people just want to have armor on one side and powers and weapons on the other. This is where the idea of linking profiles originates. Linking profiles to one another follows the same principles of using the comments section to further describe the content of a character. When linking profiles, the writer must treat the additional profile as content that adds on to the original. Example. I say, this is my original profile, which describes my bio, appearance, etc., and that you can find my armor and weapons, my fighting profile, on this username. This allows other party members to interact with the content of a fighter without having to be a fighter at that moment, enabling the writer to use the identity of the character for something else other than fighting. Switching profiles in battle. When attacking or being attacked with a profile that is linked to another, the writer must use the original content of the character to initiate the preparation of using the additional profile first before finishing the engagement within the battle on the additional content. In other words, the writer has to say that he or she is about to use another profile to block, attack, or in some forbidden cases, complete the turn. Example. Opponent. Attacks. Writer. Going to block the attack, I use the powers in this profile to do it, which I will switch to on my next turn. Opponent. Counters against the information given within the writer's response. Writer. Now on the additional profile, I respond to the opponent's counter and continue the battle. This way, the additional profile is implemented in a virtual form, roleplay fighting form, without breaking the continuity of the battle. Also, the switch is not random and spontaneous, where all of a sudden the writer or opponent pops up out of nowhere and blocks or attack with the linked profile, but the process of the transition will be presented for everyone to see. The forbidden way of switching profiles is beginning a turn with the original content of a character, switching to the additional profile, then finishing that very same turn with the content of the additional profile. This is illegal because it doesn't give the opponent or other party members an opportunity to intercept the transitions from having no powers to having powers, which is also known as an auto. Another forbidden way of switching profiles is just suddenly blocking or attacking on the profile with the additional content. Example. Opponent. Seeing person on original content, I attack. Writer. Seeing person attack me on my original content, I switch profiles and counters with the additional content. This too is also an auto.
Hey, listen!
This too is also an auto, because the writer doesn't state or mention the change or shift in their character's performance, the potential of it all, but only the kinetic parts, the results. In other words, they just pop up with a souped-up profile and counter with the content of the additional profile. This is why the writer must state the content of their additional profile inside the content of the original one, so the other party members can see and consider the principles of being able to use additional content for a character in battle. And because there is a structure way on how to do so that allows fair play for both sides, virtual warfare is using their way of understanding to help build a better picture on what should be legal and what should not, to help edify the harmony of roleplay fighting.